No. Is it recording? I've said hello 3 times already. Yes, I think it's recording. Yay. It didn't do the noise. Anyway, it is day 79 of reading the Bible in a year. Oh my gosh. And I am still towards the beginning of the first book of Samuel. And I think that my computer is being a bit slow today. And I've also got my favourite snack with me as well. A whole bag of Lebkuchen. I'm not going to eat that whole bag today. Although I should probably put the bag away now that I've had several. Anyway, let's get reading of Samuel's first prophecy. Now, the boy Samuel ministered to the Lord before Eli, and the word of the Lord was rare in those days. There was no widespread revelation. And it came to pass in that time, while Eli was lying down in his place, and when his eyes had begun to grow so dim that he could not see, and before the lamp of God went out of the tabernacle of the Lord, where the ark of God was, while Samuel was lying down, that the Lord called Samuel, and he answered, "Here I am." So he ran to Eli and said, "Here I am, for you called me." And he said, "I did not call you. Lie down again." And he went and lay down. Then the Lord called again, "Samuel." So Samuel arose and went to Eli and said, "Here I am, for you called me." He answered, "I did not call you, my son. Lie down again." Now Samuel did not yet know the Lord, nor was the word of the Lord yet revealed to him. And the Lord called Samuel again a third time. So he arose and went to Eli and said, "Here I am, for you did call me." Then Eli perceived that the Lord had called the boy. Therefore Eli said to Samuel, "Go lie down, and it shall be, if he calls you, that you must say, 'Speak, Lord, for your servant hears.'" So Samuel went and lay down in his place. Now the Lord came and stood. The Lord came and stood and called as at the other times, "Samuel, Samuel!" And Samuel answered, "Speak, for your servant hears." Then the Lord said to Samuel, "Behold, I will do something in Israel, at which both ears of everyone who hears it will tingle. In that day I will perform against Eli all that I have spoken concerning his house, from beginning to end." Oh no. "For I have told him that I will judge his house forever for the iniquity which he knows, because his sons made themselves vile, and he did not restrain them. And therefore I have sworn to the house of Eli that the iniquity of Eli's house shall not be atoned by sacrifice or offering forever." So Samuel lay down until morning and opened the doors of the house of the Lord. And Samuel was afraid to tell Eli the vision. Then Eli called Samuel and said, "Samuel, my son." He answered, "Here I am." And he said, "What is the word of the Lord spoke to you? Please do not hide it from me. God do so to you, and more also, if you hide anything from me of all the things he said to you." Then Samuel told him everything, and hid nothing from him. And he said, "It is the Lord. Let him do what seems to be good to him. So Samuel grew, and the Lord was with him, and let none of his words fall to the ground. And all Israel from Dan to Beersheba knew that Samuel had been established as a prophet of the Lord. Then the Lord appeared again in Shiloh, for the Lord revealed himself to Samuel in Shiloh by the word of the Lord. And the word of Samuel came to all Israel. The ark of God captured. Oh no. 3 chapters to read. Now, Israel went out to battle against the Philistines and encamped beside Ebenezer. And the Philistines encamped in Aphek. Then the Philistines put themselves in battle array against Israel. And when they joined battle, Israel was defeated by the Philistines. Oh no, who killed about 4,000 men of the army in the field. And when the people had come into the camp, the elders of Israel said, "Why hath the Lord defeated us today before the Philistines? Let us bring the ark of the covenant of the Lord from Shiloh to us. Then when it comes among us, it may save us from the hand of our enemies." So the people sent to Shiloh that they may bring from there the ark of the covenant of the Lord of hosts, who dwells between the cherubim. And the 2 sons of Eli, Hophni and Phinehas, oh no, were there with the ark of the covenant of God. And when the ark of the covenant of the Lord came into the camp, all Israel shouted so loudly that the earth shook. Now, when the Philistines heard the noise of the shout, they said, "What does this sound of this great shout in the camp of the Hebrews mean?" Then they understood that the ark of the Lord had come into the camp. So the Philistines were afraid, for they said, "God has come into the camp." And they said, "Woe to us, for such a thing has never happened before." Really? "Woe to us! Who will deliver us from the hand of these mighty gods? These are the gods who struck the Egyptians with all the plagues in the wilderness. Be strong and conduct yourselves like men, you Philistines, that you do not become servants of the Hebrews, as they have been to you. Conduct yourselves like men and fight." That voice doesn't really go along with that last line. So the Philistines fought, and Israel was defeated. Oh no! And every man fled to his tent. There was a very great slaughter, I'll say. I've said that. And there fell Israel 30,000 foot soldiers. Wow! Also the ark of God was captured, and the 2 sons of Eli, Hophni and Phinehas, died. Death of Eli! Then a man of Benjamin ran from the battle line the same day and came to Shiloh with his clothes torn and dirt on his head. Is he the dirt man? Now when he came, there was Eli sitting on a seat by the wayside watching, for his heart trembled for the ark of God. And when the man came into the city and told it, all the city cried out. When Eli heard the noise of the outcry, he said, "What does the sound of this tumult mean?" And the man came quickly and told Eli. Eli was 98 years old, and his eyes were so dim that he could not see. Then the man said to Eli, "I am he who came from the battle, and I fled today from the battle line." And he said, "What happened? And what happened to my son?" So the messenger answered and said, "Israel has fled before the Philistines, and there has been a great slaughter among the people. Also your 2 sons, Hophni and Phinehas, are dead, and the ark of God has been captured." Then it happened, when he made mention of the ark of God, that Eli fell off the seat backward by the edge of the gate, and his neck was broken, and he died. For the man was old and heavy. and he had judged Israel 40 years. Oh no. Now, this bit is called Ichabod. Okay. Now, his daughter-in-law, Phinehas's wife, was with child due to be delivered. And when she heard the news of the ark of God was captured, and that her father-in-law and her husband were dead, she bowed herself and gave birth, for her labour pains came upon her. And about the time of her death, the women who stood by her said to her, "Do not fear, for you have borne a son." But she did not answer, nor did she regard it, because she was dead. Then she... How could she have named it if she was... I don't know. Then she named the child Ichabod, saying, "The glory has departed from Israel," because the ark of God had been captured, and because her father-in-law and her husband... And she said, "The glory has departed from Israel, for the ark of God has been captured." The Philistines and the ark. Then the Philistines took the ark of God and brought it from Ebenezer to Ashdod. When the Philistines took the ark of God, they brought it into the house of Dagon and set it by Dagon. Oh no. And when the people of Ashdod rose early in the morning, there was Dagon fallen on its face to the earth before the ark of the Lord. So they took Dagon and set it in its place again. And when they arose early the next morning, there was Dagon fallen on its face to the ground before the ark of the Lord. The head of Dagon and both the palms of its hands were broken off on the threshold. Only Dagon's torso was left to it. Therefore neither the priests of Dagon nor any who came into Dagon's house tread on the threshold of Dagon in Ashdod to this day. But the hand of the Lord was heavy on the people of Ashdod, and he ravaged them and struck them with tumors, and both Ashdod and its territory. And when the men of Ashdod saw how it was, they said, "The ark of God of Israel must not remain with us, for his hand is harsh towards us, and Dagon our God." Therefore they sent and gathered themselves all the lords of the Philistines and said, "What shall we do with the ark of the Lord of Israel?" And they answered, "Let the ark of God of Israel be carried away to Gath." So they carried the ark of God of Israel away. So it was, after they carried it away, that the hand of the Lord was against the city with a very great destruction. And he struck the men of the city, both small and great, with tumors that broke out on them. Therefore they sent the ark of God to Ekron. So it was that as the ark came... Therefore they sent the ark of God to Ekron. So it was, as the ark of God came to Ekron, that the Ekronites cried out, saying, "They have brought the ark of God of Israel to us, to kill us and our people." So they sent and gathered together all the lords of the Philistines and said, "Send away the ark of God of Israel, and let it go back to its own place, so that it does not kill us and our people." For there was a deadly destruction throughout all the city, and the hand of God was heavy there, very heavy. And the men of the city did not die, and the men of the city who did not die were stricken with tumors. And the cry of the city went up to heaven. And my yawn interrupted my reading just a little bit because I'm getting tired. All right, I will say have a good night. Although, there's 2 more readings to do. So I'll see you in the next reading.